All right. So today we're going to be talking about the concept of invasion. So I showed you those videos earlier. Yesterday we were talking about D-Day, which was when the Allied forces, which was America, Great Britain, and I don't remember what the other Canada is what it said in the book. Yeah, Canada. They stormed the beaches in France, okay, in what is called an invasion. Okay. So what we're going to do is, if you look it up here on the directions, so it just says in each circle, we're going to write a word or phrase that you're going to associate with the word invasion. Okay, so any word that you associate with the word invasion, okay, you're going to write in a circle. Okay, so the first one, they already have an example up here. The word is assault. Okay, so sometimes militaries do what's called an assault on something. Okay, and that would be similar to an invasion. Okay, another one that I'm thinking of is the word military. Okay, and the word military comes to mind, and I connect that word with invasion because one country invades another, it sends its military. Okay, so let's go ahead and put military there. Okay. So military, so that's one thing. So just write it right there. Okay. And military. So yeah, so when one country invades another, they send their military. Okay. What else? What are some other words we could associate with invasion? Okay. I want you to, everyone to take maybe the next 30 seconds or so, and I want you to come up with one word that you associate with invasion. Okay, and write it down. Okay, so at least one. If you come up with more than one, that's awesome. Okay, so remember, we just watched multiple videos of people, militaries invading. So what were they doing? Were they shooting? Oh yeah, shooting guns. Okay, what were they driving in?
Oh, boats.
Okay,
Well,
boats maybe.
Cargo ships.
Yeah, those are good stuff. Okay.
Cargo.
Okay.
When?
A cargo ship.
Okay, so think about stuff, words that you associate with the invasion. Yeah, write it down. Write it down. Yep.
How do you spell cargo ship?
Okay, CARGO.
Shooting.
And then ship.
Ocean.
Okay. So anything you can associate with invasion. So military, or guns. Okay. I want everybody to try to come up with at least one of their own examples, and then we'll go around the room and have you guys share out. We'll see if we can fill up this circle here. Okay, it looks like everyone's got at least something here.
We do. We have all.
Okay. Okay, it looks like everyone's got something written. Okay, share with me something that you wrote in your circle map, please, Pilar. What's one of the ideas you came up with? Boats. Okay, good. So, to invade, sometimes militaries use boats. Okay. If you don't have all of your circles filled out, I want you to write the ideas that I put here. So, if you don't have it written down already, write it down until your circle all the way full. Okay. So, boats. That's a really great example. That's something you would use to invade another country, right? Really, or another territory. Really great example. Pilar, why don't you go share this example you came up with? Jack, what's one?
Shoot.
Shoot. Okay, so like shooting. Okay, what shoots?
Like guns.
Guns.
Shooting.
Like
Okay, so when there's an invasion. Sorry.
In a plane. Ooh, in a plane.
Okay, so shooting. Sorry, marker's a little off right now. So shooting, and I would say like any type of shooting during an invasion. Okay, is probably gonna happen now. Okay, think about before guns when people had to invade and they had to use like swords and stuff. How crazy is that? Okay.
I got one.
Sword slashing. Okay, what'd you got?
I say a plane.
Oh, airplanes. Okay, so planes. that'd be a good one. So airplanes, I would associate that with invasion because during an invasion, airplanes maybe that drop bombs or they shoot stuff at people on the ground. Okay. What's one more example that you came up with that is not up on the board, Charlie?
Building.
What?
Building.
Okay, so building things. Okay, so during an invasion, okay, they have to build stuff. So they have to build bombs, they have to build tanks, they have to build boats, they have to build guns, they have to build bullets, all that type of stuff. So build.
Circling thing.
Building. I'm just gonna say building things, just to kind of keep it. Okay, so building things. Okay, so make sure you've got at least something written in every box here. Okay, words will be associated with invasion. Okay, other ones might be explosions, maybe machine guns. Maybe it's like different countries. Okay, or countries, multiple countries. Okay. Maybe I'd say like army or any like branch of military. Okay.
Like a military
Yep.
place. Like
Yep. Okay. Let's go ahead. We are going to take a look at the next page now.
Next
So,
page.
yep. Look at the next page. Page 187, please. Okay.
I turn to page 187.
Yep. So we'll just be right here on this page. Okay. Okay. Appreciate you guys being ready to go. Thanks for being there, Dylan. Okay. So we're gonna go through these vocab words. And once we get done with all the vocab words, we'll spend some time on Read 180, and I'll do time readings with people I haven't done those with yet today. Okay? So, everybody find that first word. I want you to point at it with your pointer finger. So point at it on your book with your pointer finger. Point at it. I want you to read it with me. I like that Braden's ready to go. Thanks for being ready to go, McKaylee and Alicia. Jack, okay, so the word's amphibious. What's that word, everybody?
Amphibious.
Good, I'm glad I can hear your voices. I just need to hear you louder, though. The word's amphibious. What's that word, everybody?
Amphibious.
Good, thanks for being nice and loud. I was shouting, though, so now I want to hear you whisper. What's that word?
Amphibious.
Good, now I want to hear you turn to the person next to you and say that word to him. What's that word?
Amphibious.
Hey, well, no, hold on.
I'm sorry. I didn't.
Okay. All right. So amphibious. So I want you to actually. So I'm just gonna sound out. So it's amphibious. Okay. So everybody sound it out with me. Ready? Go. Amphibious. Okay. Thank you. All right. So I want you to go ahead and rate it on a scale of 1 to 4. Okay. So 1 would be like you barely know the word. Okay, and 4 would be I know the word and I can use it in a sentence. So you're gonna circle one of these numbers. How well do you know that word?
Yes.
Do you know what it means?
Kind of a little bit.
Yes,
Okay.
it means
Amphibious.
All right, so everybody should have circled a number there. So amphibious.
2.
Okay, so the word amphibious is an adjective, and an adjective describes a thing. Okay. And such as an animal or a vehicle. So in this case, amphibious, so frogs are amphibious. So are salamanders.
Or shrimp.
Shrimp? No, I don't think so. Okay. So in this case, amphibious means that it's able to live or move on both blank and blank.
Feet.
Okay, where do frogs live?
In
The
the
water.
water.
The water and also on the
Land.
good, yeah. So they can both live on land
And water.
and water.
Or on a
Oh,
rock hole. Tadpoles.
tadpole. What? So they can live or move on both land and water. So, are there any other animals you guys can think of that are amphibious, besides frogs or salamanders?
Ooh.
Alligators.
Ooh, alligator. That is a good one. That's a really good example.
Shark. Crab.
That'd be scary. Maybe in the future of evolution, maybe there'll be a walking shark. But ooh, a turtle. That is a really good one. Okay, so make sure you have have those written down, those words written down? Okay, everybody, I want you guys to find the example sentence there. Okay? I'm just going to read it out loud and then we're going to fill in the blank. Okay? So it says the soldiers tried an amphibious invasion because the city they were invading was near where? Okay, so if they're going to invade onto something, okay, they were invading, it was near what? What do you think it was, Jack? What? What?
When?
Land? Yes. Well, okay, well, it would be, the city's on land, so they can invade because it's near where?
Water.
Water, good, yeah. So if it's near water, okay, or what's like another name for water that is near a city? What can we call that?
A lake.
Ooh, all right, a lake. That's yeah. There's lakes that you could invade from. Okay, so we'll just say near
A lake.
a lake. Ooh. Yeah, make sure you got a period there. So it was near a lake. Okay, that's how they could do an amphibious assault. Okay, so like if Japan wanted to invade Hawaii again, like when they bombed Pearl Harbor, they could do an amphibious assault because they could come there and land on boat. By boat. Okay. All right. Everyone got that written down? Make sure you have that period. Okay, I'm just gonna check. Make sure you got it. Perfect. Make sure you have a period. Period at the end. Check yourself. All right. Everybody, find that next word. Find that next word with the pointer finger. Like the Jack's ready to go. Find it with your pointer finger. Okay, everybody find that word. The word is casualty. What's that word, everybody?
Casualty.
Okay, I like that. I can hear your voices. I just need to hear everybody. The word is casualty. What's that word?
Casualty.
Okay, glad to get everybody say that with me. Now I want you to turn to the person next to him and say that word to him. What's that word?
Casualty.
Perfect. Now I want you to say it to the ceiling.
Casualty.
Good. Now I want to hear you sound it out with me. You ready? Go. Casualty.
Casualty.
Yeah, good. Extra sound out there. Okay. So go ahead and rate it on a scale of 1 to 4. You know it or not?
Just say it for me.
Yeah. So, when a person dies in a war, they are called a casualty. Okay. So the casualty will be a person who is what or blank in a war or act of violence. Okay, so if I'm a casualty, I could what? What do you guys think? Yeah, so when a person dies in war, they're called a casualty. Okay, so a casualty would be a person who gets what? What happens to them?
Hurt.
Okay, they get hurt, or what's even worse than getting hurt?
Dead.
Dead. Okay, so
They
a
die.
person, let's just say killed or hurt, or hurt
Yeah.
or killed.
I think they get killed because that's
Hurt or killed
people in war they die.
in a war or act of violence. So you'd be a casualty. So for example, if you were in the mall, okay, and somebody
I wrote that down.
Okay, great job. So if you were in the mall, for example, and somebody set off a bomb while you were there, and you got injured, okay, you would be a casualty of the bombing because you would have gotten hurt in the act of violence. Okay,
On like Christmas Day at that bomb.
okay. So let's take a look at the example sentence. So just we're just going to fill in the blank here at the end. So after a casualty, so after somebody gets hurt or killed, okay, surviving soldiers often consider how to what?
Oh.
Okay, so after, let's just say somebody gets killed, okay? So surviving soldiers often consider what? What are they going to do after somebody dies? What do you think they're going to do? I want you to tell the person next to you. Tell the person next to you. What do you think they're going to do? Okay, tell the person next to you. What do you think they're going to do? What does the person the soldiers do when their fellow soldiers die? Seen in a movie, maybe?
Jack,
Yeah, take-
what'd you say?
The person who dies or kills in the war or act of violence.
Anybody have any examples?
Oh, I got one.
Okay, what do you think it is, Alicia? Appreciate you raising your hand.
They get buried.
Okay, so maybe they would consider how to bury them. That's a really great
how
example.
they
So
bury them.
let's go ahead and write that down. So after a casualty, surviving soldiers often consider how to bury the
Body.
the dead. Let's just say the dead. Keep it simple. So how to bury, say the dead.
Yes, the dead.
Let's say the dead. Let's just say the dead soldiers.
Like,
Ay, ay, ay.
Very light.
Okay, so
I wrote that down.
because they would bury the dead soldiers because the casualty would be somebody who was killed, right? So they'd be
Yep.
buried after they become a casualty. Really good. Thanks for following along.
because their bodies.
Okay, doing great. Appreciate you getting that down. That's great. Yeah, that's tough.
Oh, and you had a period?
Okay, yep, make sure you have a period there at the end. Okay. Doing awesome. Yep, give you 10 more seconds to get that finished up.
Dictator.
I'm like smelling this one.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look at the next word. Everybody find the next word with your pointer finger. Find it with your pointer finger. Everybody read that word with me. The word is dictator. What's that word, everybody?
Dictator.
Good. I'm glad I can hear that side of the room nice and loud, but I need to hear this side of the room too. The word dictator. What's that word, everybody?
Dictator.
Good. Glad I can hear everybody's voice there. Now I want you to turn to the person next to you. You say that word to him. What's that word?
Dictator.
Good. Now I want you to say it to the ground.
Dictator.
Now I want you to sound it out with me. Ready, go.
Dictator.
Dictator. Awesome job. So go ahead and rate on a scale of 1 to 4. How will you know that word?
I get it. 4.
So a dictator is a ruler who has total control over a country.
Ooh, like Britain?
Who?
Like Britain, like
I'm not sure.
a Africa?
There are countries in Africa, yes, that have dictators. You're going somewhere good with that. Okay, so a dictator, okay, would be a what? Somebody who what? Are they the poorest person in the world?
No.
No. Are they like? Do they have any say in what happens in the world?
No.
No. What? No, they do, right?
Yes, they do, because they are.
Okay, so remember my example sentence. So a dictator is a ruler who has total control over a country. So the definition of a dictator would be a ruler with total what? What do you think it would be? A ruler with total what, Charlie?
Amount.
Ruler with what? Total what?
Money?
Money.
Okay, total what? Okay, help them out. McKaylee? What do you think? Oh, power? Alright, okay, that sounds good, yeah. So
Power.
ruler with total power, they would
Power.
be a dictator. Okay, so like, for example, it might not say he is, but the president of Russia is kind of a dictator. Okay, I mean, there's other countries, plenty of other countries too that have dictators, like,
North
I
Korea.
guess there's less than there were. What?
North Korea.
North Korea. Ooh, North Korea. That's a really good one. Really good example. North Korea. They have a dictator. Somebody has a ruler with total power. Okay. All right. Let's find the example question or example sentence here. So a dictator might not allow citizens to what?
Cross the country.
Oh, that's a good one. What else? What else will they not let you do? What like can't you do in North Korea?
I think you can't cross the border because
That is true. You can't cross the country. You can't cross the border. You can't leave the country really unless you have like special permission. Okay. What else? What else would a dictator not allow citizens to do? What's something that you think somebody in power might not let you do? Leave the country. Not leave the country.
Yeah, not leave the country.
Okay, what about in like countries like China? Can people talk bad about the government publicly?
No.
No. Okay, so there's other things like you can't criticize the government, and maybe so the dictator might not allow citizens to criticize them. It may not allow citizens to leave the country without permission. It may not allow citizens to, I don't know, I guess what's a freedom we have in America that some other countries might not have?
People don't have a passport to go across the countries.
Alright, okay. We're just going to write this down. So we'll use your original example, Alicia. So dictator might not allow citizens to, we'll just say leave the country without permission.
Yes.
Okay. So like in North Korea, you can't leave the country without permission unless you escape. So everybody get this written down. And make sure you get that whole thing written down. Put a period at the end.
Yes.
And do not forget the
Yes.
period. Thanks for following along, boys.
Erase it.
Yeah, write them down.
Leave the country without permission.
Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Something that could happen. Somebody gets total power. Okay, so I'll give you about 10 more seconds to get that written down here, and then we'll move on to the next word. And take 5 more seconds, get that written down. Looks like we're good. Okay, everybody, let's take a look at the next word on our list. Everybody find the next word. I want you to find it with your pointer finger, like the Jack's ready to go. Appreciate Charlie being ready to go over there, and Dylan. Doing awesome. Okay, everybody find that word over there. The word is enlist. What's that word, everybody?
Enlist.
Good, I'm glad I can hear your voice nice and loud. So say it one more time, the word enlist. What's that word?
Enlist.
Good, now turn to the person next to you and say that word too. What's that word?
Enlist.
Good, now I want you to whisper it. What's that word? Good, now I want you to sound it out with me. Ready, go. Enlist. Perfect. So, former military members may try to enlist again in the military. Yeah. Or, let me do a better example than that. I enlisted in the Army when I turned 18.
Okay.
Okay. So, to enlist would be to what the military?
Be in the military?
Okay, so I'm being in there. What's another word? So if I'm being in something, I would be,
Join.
I heard a J. What was that, McKaylee?
Join.
Joining, good. So to join the military would be to enlist. Okay? So if I join the military, I do what, everybody? Oh, what? No, enlist. So if I join the military, I do what, everybody?
Enlist.
Enlist. Good, yeah. So if somebody says, I enlisted, the only thing that really,
Enlist.
most people, I guess it could say,
Enlist.
Enlist.
it really only refers to joining the military. So they're like, I enlisted this weekend. You'd probably be referring to the military or something. I guess maybe it could be joining another organization, but in this case, the military. Okay. Find the example. So I would or would not. So you're going to circle either would or would not enlist in the armed forces because why? Okay. So this is the one I can't really answer for you. Okay. I want you to think about this. Would you join the armed forces? If it's yes, you're going to circle would. If it's no,
I would not.
you would circle would not. Okay. And then why would you not want to join it? Because you don't want to get killed. Maybe you want to go to
I'm
college.
doing the military
Forces because
that you need to.
Okay, get it written down. Okay.
they are dying.
So, for example, I'm gonna put I would enlist in the military or in the armed forces because I want to serve my country.
Because I would not die. I could die.
Okay. Would you join in the military or not? No. What? Would you enlist in the military or not? No, why not? Because you miss your family.
Because I said I help
Why
help
would you
people
not
in the
join the
military.
military? Understandable. That's fine.
I say I would help people in the military. She texted me. I did it. I would want to be in the military. I do have a senior hand.
Would not.
I put period.
Alright. Okay, I want you to go ahead and share with me what you wrote. Okay, you're going to read the whole sentence starting with I and then whatever you circled down to the period. So, why don't you go ahead and share with us the sentence that you wrote, please, Dylan?
Would not enlist in the army forces because I don't want to die.
Yeah, so if you don't want to die, that would be a good reason to not enlist or not join the military, right? Really good sentence, Dylan. Thanks a ton for sharing that with the class. Why don't you go ahead and share this? You put, please, Pilar, are you willing to share your sentence with us?
Sure.
Okay. So you just start with I and then whatever you circled and then just read the whole thing.
Okay. I would not enlist in the armed forces because I'm scared I'll get hurt.
Because what?
I'm scared I'll get hurt.
Okay, so if you're scared you're going to get hurt, that's a really good reason to not join the armed forces because they do a lot of, obviously fighting, shooting, combat, okay, any of the above, jumping out of planes, jumping out of boats, things like that. Definitely things that get hurt, okay? So that would be a good reason to not enlist or not join the military. Really good sentence, Pilar. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and find the next word with us? We got 2 more to make it through. Find that next word. The next word is paratrooper. What's that word, everybody?
Paratrooper.
Okay, good. Thanks for being nice and loud. Let's just say it one more time. The word's paratrooper. What's that word?
Paratrooper.
Good. Now I want you to turn to the person next to you and say that word to him.
Paratrooper.
Perfect. Now I want you to say it to the ceiling. What's that word?
Paratrooper.
Paratrooper. Good. Now sound it out with me. You ready to go?
Paratrooper.
Perfect. So, paratroopers, trying to say this without giving it fully away. Okay. Okay. So, during the D-Day invasion, paratroopers. Hey, what's going on? What are you guys talking about, everybody?
She drew something on
Yeah, I drew on something else.
Not important right now. Okay. You guys can talk about that after class. Okay, no sniffing the marker. Okay. Alright, so during D-Day, the D-Day invasion, it involved paratroopers that dropped from airplanes. Okay? So paratroopers be the member of the what? That jumps out of where?
A plane.
Okay, so a member of the what? What are we talking about? What kind of theme are we talking about? Member of what? What do you-
Soldier.
Soldier.
Okay, soldiers, so let's just say military. Soldier is this, because it wouldn't just be a member of the soldier, be a member of, let's say, the military. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Who jumps out of what?
A plane.
Planes, right? Yeah, so they're the people who jump out of planes, they have parachutes. Okay. So, most boys have probably played with some sort of little army parachute toy when they were a kid or at some point in their life. Maybe girls too, but okay. Does anybody know anybody that's been a paratrooper? Anybody have any family or know anybody? Yeah. One of my brother's friends, he was one in Afghanistan. Alright, find the example sentence here. So a skilled paratrooper must be able to what?
Practice.
Okay, what do you think? What would I have to do with a parachute? What would I have to be skilled at?
You have to.
Know how to work the parachute?
Ooh, I really like that. So I know how to be able to work the parachute, right? If I don't know how to work the parachute, I could easily die. I mean, jumping out of a plane that's 10,000 plus feet up in the air.
Yeah.
Okay, so must be able to, let's say, work the parachute. That's a really good example,
To
Dylan.
practice parachute.
Okay, so if you don't know how to work the parachute, yeah, you might
I wrote
go
that down.
off. You probably go off somewhere you're not supposed to go float somewhere you're not supposed to go. So I think they can direct them a little bit. Okay, and then something else to kind of think about is like if you don't know how to land, you could really hurt yourself too. I'm assuming you could crash land if you're coming down too fast. So there's probably different ways. I don't know how they do it exactly, but.
I think you need a trainer with you.
Okay, make sure you got a period at the end. Just gonna come around and check, make sure you got a period. Perfect. Okay, looking good. Oh. Okay. Alright, perfect. Alright, last word. Last word. We're done. There's still another word. Okay. Everybody find that last word. I want you to find it with your pointer finger. Find it with your pointer finger. I want you to read it out loud with me. The word is valor. What's that word, everybody?
Valor.
Okay, I didn't hear everybody. The word is valor. What's that word?
Valor.
Good. Thanks for being nice and loud. I want you to turn to the person next to you and say that word too. What's that word?
Valor.
Good. Now sound it out with me. You ready? Go.
Valor.
Perfect. So, the military sometimes awards bravery. Wait. Okay, I'm totally use a different example. One of the book doesn't make sense. Okay. So when I show bravery by pulling my family out of the house that's on fire, I would be showing valor. Okay. So in this case, valor would be great what in the face of what? Anybody? Okay, so if I'm showing valor, am I a scaredy cat?
No.
No. Okay, what's the opposite of that? The opposite of being scared.
Afraid?
No, that's the same as being scared. Okay, what's the opposite? Instead of being scared, I'm really
Happy.
brave. Thank you,
Brave.
Charlie.
Brave.
Okay. So we're gonna say great bravery in the face of what?
Lead.
Well, okay, so you have to be brave when what? When in what kind of situation? Dangerous situation. Thank you, Dylan.
Dangerous.
Good. So in the face of danger. Okay, so great bravery in the face of danger, that would be valor. Okay? So like that example I brought up about you saving your family from a burning house fire. Okay, you'd be showing great bravery in the face of danger because you would be dangerous that you could get hurt or killed yourself, but you're being brave by going back in and saving people. Okay? Alright, last one here. A firefighter might show valor by what? What do firefighters do to show their bravery?
Put the fire out.
Well, okay, they put the fire out, but what?
Go inside and save the person.
Ooh, I like, so go inside. Okay, so you go inside to save a person, or you can say maybe go inside to put a fire out. Okay, so putting fire out, Alicia. Okay, so a firefighter might show valor by, let's say, yeah, going inside. Oh, geez. Going inside to save someone from a fire. once you get that example written down, the whole thing written down, or you have another one with a period at the end, I'm going to come around and check it off, or Karen can check it off if you got a whole thing written down. And then once you're good, you can put your book away. And then I'll tell you what's going to happen from there.
They put the book away. We did a good job. We didn't horse around during workbooks. We did a good job during the workbooks.
Yep. I always do that. I could never find the page. You could never. What? Read it. You were. Yep. Let's get that.
There you go. Oh, stop.
Keep a stack of picture over here. I'm gonna split you two up.
Well, because I have this on my
No, I
hand that smells so
remember I
good.
closed it.
Don't worry,
I know.
it's a
Too
smelly marker
distracted.
with
Distracted up here.
marshmallows inside.
Marshmallow smelling marshmallow. Alright, okay, once you put your book away, we need to get out our computers. Okay, if you weren't here yesterday, you are taking the reading inventory. Okay, if you were here yesterday, we're going to log into Reading 180, and we're probably going to spend at least 20 minutes on there. I might let you read for the last 10 minutes of class. Okay? But other than that, I want you to pull out your computers. Okay? If you were not here yesterday, I'm having you take the reading inventory. So, do you have your computer?
Yes.
Yeah, so pull that out. I'll show you where to go. Say, Dylan, you're good. You took it yesterday. I think so. Jack, you need to take reading inventory. I think it's just Jack, Charlie, and
I've been reading it before.
So,
And then read 180.